Are you tired of videos going on about how to make the strongest D&D build? Or how to do 1000 damage in D&D and so on? Well, I am. After playing D&D for almost 5 years, which is kinda wild when I think about it. In those 5 years, I've had it all. All the cheese builds, coffee lock, and rule bending. Forming a chain of peasants 2 miles long. If we make them all pass a pool, and the lifeguard does it, that object would travel 2 miles in 6 seconds at the speed of 118 miles. Shut up! And I'm rather tired of it. So how about let's try and make the least versatile, least powerful build in Dungeons and Dragons. First on the chopping block is the character's race. A lot of the races in D&D have advantages and extra ways to do damage, whether by natural weapons or innate magic. For example, Aarakocra have talons, centaurs have hooves, Dhampir have a bite, Leonin have claws, lizard folks also have bites, Minotaur have horns, Satyr have horns, Shifters have fangs depending on, Tabaxi have claws, Turtle have claws, heck, even Grong have poisonous skin. And of course Dragonborns have breath weapons and Tieflings have innate magic. And there's probably some I'm missing. So for this build, I chose just a regular gnome, which has no innate magic or natural weapons, as well as having an ability score increase in intelligence. And due to their small stature and size, they also have disadvantage on attack rolls with any weapon with the heavy attribute. Now speaking about attributes, we'll use point buy and give ourselves an 8 in strength, an 8 in dexterity, a 14 in constitution, a 14 in intelligence, a 12 in wisdom, and a 15 in charisma. And with our stats bonus from gnome, we get a 16 in intelligence. And that should be it for our attributes. Next, moving on to our class. Out of all the classes in D&D, there is one class that everyone likes to kick around and talk about how lame and cringe they are. And no, this time it's not the ranger I'm talking about. No, I'm talking about the fighter. It's well known that late game, martial classes start to fall off damage wise, especially those without magic. So we're gonna go gnome and fighter to start. At level 1, we'll choose the defense fighting style, since it gives us no extra damage in any way. At level 3, our martial archetype will be one of the most useless in the game. The subclass is the Banneret from the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, which gives you no way to do any more damage or advantage. Instead, all of its usefulness comes from helping others do damage and learning how to talk good. At level 4 we get our first ability score improvement. Our class gets 7 of them, and for each one we're going to choose a feat instead of an ability score improvement. And we're going to choose feats that do nothing for our damage or give us magic. The 7 feats I ended up choosing were Alert, which while a good feat on its own, doesn't do much for our character. We get Actor, then Chef, one of the most useless feats known to man. Healer, another very useless feat. Keen Mind, a very nice feat for roleplay and the like, but not for combat. Mobile, which is a decent feat. And Observant, not much to talk about. In the end of our 20 levels, this is our character stats. Now that we've built this character, we can finally see how much damage the build can actually do. But before that, fun little fact, this build is so weak that even the basic gear is too heavy for it to carry. But who cares, who uses carry weight anyway? And at level 20, this is how our fighter is looking damage wise, using the average damage with and without action surge. Now do note that the fighter at level 20 attacks 4 times in one action. An action surge gives them another action, so 4 more. Now, these numbers might not look too bad if you're a level 5, but to put this damage into perspective, let's look at the other classes at level 20 with no feats or extra subclass damage. Artificer, Sorcerer, Wizard, They do an average of 22 damage with the basic Firebolt cantrip. At level 20, Warlocks do the same with the Eldritch Blast. The Cleric damage cantrip, Sacred Flame, has an average of 18 damage, which is lower, but I mean, they can call up Jesus to beat you up whenever, so Druids and Bards can literally turn into dragons. Rangers can hit you with Steel Wind Strike. And then cast Swift Quiver to have 4 attacks as well, and they can summon stuff. Barbarians can just do more damage period, and while a monk will actually do less damage than a fighter without their subclass, since they rely a lot on their subclass, they're still way more versatile, and their hands are naturally magic as well, whereas fighters need something of magical properties. So there you have it, the worst D&D build ever made. As far as I know. There could be worse, to be honest, I'm not sure. Thanks for watching. If you have any thoughts or ideas how to make a worse character, you can comment those below, and maybe you can think of the strongest monsters that this level 20 could 1v1 and win against. Cause I don't think there's that many, to be honest.